managing the collaboration between business and IT is key for several reasons. Number one, what IT thinks is important may not be important according to senior managers. Number two, if we do not have a buy-in from senior managers, and by that I mean CEO, COO, CFO, and all, then it is hard to get the buy-in of middle management and lower management when it's time to deploy or execute these initiatives. So for these reasons, it's extremely important for us to have close alignment with senior management. The way we do that is by following an iterative process. So what we do is we have our understanding of what's important to business. We go and discuss that with business leaders. We refine our understanding, we let them speak, we make notes, we come back, and again go to them after 15 days or 21 days and make sure that we're speaking the same language and IT's understanding is accurate in terms of what is important to business leadership. So it's an iterative process, it's an ongoing process, and by close communication with senior management, we ensure that IT is never out of step with what's really important to senior managers. So the way we do that is by starting with the end in mind. So typically, IT teams always pitch technology to senior management. They would say, blockchain is awesome, or analytics is awesome, or AI can do this for us. But the approach we like to take here is that we start with the end in mind. What it means is that if the CEO or the CFO says that they need to see certain reports in certain formats, we start with that end in mind. We think about what it would take for us to provide that report to them. For example, if the CEO says that he needs a dashboard where the manufacturing numbers and sales numbers are provided up to date on a daily basis, then what we do is we then figure out the technology to make it happen. In this case, analytics is the right technology to provide what the CEO needs. So we make sure that we develop the analytical capabilities and provide the report and the dashboard in the format that they need. Most often what happens is the IT would instead try and pitch a technology to senior management. For example, machine learning is so cool. Well, machine learning is cool, but it may not be the required technology for senior management to get what they need. In most cases where I've seen that analytics or a simpler technology like robotic process automation or RPA is more than adequate to give management what they need. And it's only with the rare cases that we need to reach out to the blockchains and the artificial intelligence sort of technologies. So to cut a long story short, we begin with the end in mind, we make sure that the technology fits the requirement, and then we work backwards from that point. So what we have in this company is a core business leadership team. And by that, I mean the heads of supply chain, manufacturing and productions, finance, sales and marketing, HR, and so on. So this group of 6 or 7 key business stakeholders is pretty important to IT. And the way in which we engage with this core business team is by doing 2 things. Number one, we have an IT steering committee meeting, which is once a month. And we also have an IT architecture board meeting, which is once a month again. In the first one, which is an IT steering committee meeting, we make sure to mention our priorities to the core business team and let the core business team make its decisions about which is important, which of those initiatives is important to it. And on the IT architecture board, what we do is we discuss all the possible technology options that are available to us, and we look at all the priorities that we have to execute, and then we basically marry the two in terms of which technologies we need to adopt. And in this second meeting, which is the architecture board meeting, we make sure to engage not only the core business leadership team, but a second level of senior management within the company to make sure that discussions about technologies, discussions about products and OEMs can happen at a little more detailed level. So in terms of governance, we have an IT steering committee meeting, and we have an architecture board meeting, and then the third entity that is important to us is the core business leadership. So within these 3 groups, We maintain a regular interaction. We talk to them at least on a monthly basis, and that is how we make sure that our IT initiatives are aligned with our business strategy. Our agenda for 2019 is very simple. There are two key elements to our agenda in 2019. Number one, we need great working relationship between IT and business. We need extremely close alignment between these two organizations. We want to make sure that whatever IT works on is important to business as well. That's number one. Number two is for us to get started on our wave one of IT transformation, focusing on analytics. And the reason we want to focus on analytics is because we want to make sure that leaders spend less time collecting data and more time working on the data. Right now, if you ask the CFO what he is working on, he would tell me that he's probably spending 80 to 90% of the time, his calendar, basically collecting data from different sources. Why? Because he needs to make decisions on the basis of that data. We want to change that situation to one where 80 to 90% of his time is spent on strategy and execution, and only 10% time on collecting the data. And that we can achieve by providing a very robust analytics system to our leadership.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.